Hello again, chaps and chapettes. How are we all doing? It is lovely to see you all again, as always. First and foremost, guys, what in the name of all this fuckery is going on with the weather in this country? Over the last few days, it has been really warm, and what are we now? Mid to late March? I don't even know what date it is. It is the 25th of March, and over the last few days, it has been really nice. Sat in front room, and I've been boiling my tits off. I had windows open, blinds open, radiators off, all nice cross breeze and stuff like that. It has been wonderful. Well, sort of wonderful. I'm not really a big fan of warm weather, particularly in this country. It's a different type of warm weather as opposed to it is in Spain or somewhere like that. Really very strange. When Brits go abroad, they relish the warm weather. But when we get it here, you get a lot of moaning, a lot of groaning. But yeah, on the flip side, you get a lot of moaning and groaning when it's too cold and too wet and too dreary and too grey. You just can't win on this tiny little island. But yeah, it's been nice. I just hope we're not getting it all now as opposed to in the summer when we're supposed to be getting it. So yeah, fingers crossed and see what happens there. But like I say, I'm not a massive fan of the hot weather. I prefer my winter months, the darker nights, the frosty mornings. That's kind of a thing. So well, either way, it's a nice change of pace. Anyway, guys. My main point of this video, I'm not going to be talking about weather, don't worry about that. We're going to be talking about UK comedy. Well, comedy in general, really. Now, I've done a video about this in the past before. It did quite well, got quite a few views, got quite a few comments. So I'm hoping this will go along the same path as that one did. Now, yesterday, I came in from work and I fancied unwinding with a bit of a chuckle. I fancied watching something that was going to make me laugh. So, as soon as how we pay for it, I'd look at Netflix, and I would look at Amazon Prime, and I was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and everything I saw just looked absolutely shite. Now, I commented on somebody who commented on a post of one of mine about a week ago. I never got around to replying to all my comments, and he was saying about how Netflix had been going downhill, and they had a black-only films, things like very wokey, very left-wing type of horse shit that you tend to see on most streaming services now. And I was racking my brains. I said, what the hell can I watch here? I ended up reverting back to watching Red Dwarf. I mean, obviously, Red Dwarf started in the late 80s. This is an ancient comedy. But yeah, I still find it funny. It's untouched, well, at least the earlier series is, by wokeness. It's untouched by stuff where you can't say that anymore, that kind of a thing. And I found it baffling that a streaming service that houses thousands upon thousands of hours of content altogether, collectively, I couldn't find one single thing that could make me laugh. I had to resort to something that I downloaded, namely Red Dwarf. And I got to thinking, what was the last thing on the streaming service that I watched that was marginally up to date that actually made me laugh? And I came up with a couple of solutions. Now, number one, there's a BBC comedy called Outnumbered, especially about three out of control children, family, that kind of. It's a bit cliche, but it is quite funny. I do find it quite amusing. And they have to try and control these out of control, hyperactive kids, basically. There is one called, what's she called? Little curly-haired girl. Can't remember her name now. Should see state of her now she's grown up. Sweetest little girl. Cute as a button she was. And now she's turned into some sort of like leftist weirdo. She's got hairy armpits and like piercings all over the place. And I thought, my God, what an absolute waste. What is she called? I cannot remember for the life of me. It's going to annoy me. I'm going to have to Google it. Let's have a look. For the people that have seen it out there, probably screaming at your phones at the minute. Outnumbered. Karen, that's the one. Karen, is it Karen? Yes it is. Karen. Cute as a button, little girl, gob on her, always throwing tantrums, quite funny. She's turned into a fucking awful state of a girl. If you got Instagram or something like that, look her up. Summit Marquez, she's called. Hairy armpits, the whole lot, showing them off. Hairier than mine. Honestly, hairier than mine. Fucking disgrace. And we've also had comedies like Bottom on there. Rick Mail, absolute legend. I absolutely love Rick Mail. A sad, sad loss to the comedy world when he sadly passed away. Whenever it was, early 2000s, mid-2000s, of a sudden heart attack. Hilarious, Ed Edmondson, much the same. But to the best of my knowledge, they were Labour voters, they were socialists, but they were funny. You don't get that in this day and age. Can you name me a left-wing comedian, left-wing actor who is actually amusing? That's a challenge for you guys. You try and think of someone. Let me know in the comments if you can think of anybody. But mine is Ed Edmondson, Rick Mail, trying to think of it on the top of my head, Jimmy Carr, another one. He used to be quite funny until his quip about people not getting vaccine. I'm pretty sure you've all seen that on his stage. Hold your hands up if you've had your vaccine. Hold your hands up if you haven't had the vaccine. He calls them all tosses or something like that. Thinking he's funny. Knobhead. He did come out later on and try and reverse that, but that didn't really work. I think he did an interview on trigonometry. Anyway, guys, the point of the matter is, I can't really think of an up-to-date comedy that I have watched in the last 10-15 years that I found even remotely funny. Big Bang Theory, when that first came out, I did find that quite amusing because I related to some of the jokes. I'm quite a geeky side sort of guy. I like my video games. I like World of Warcraft. I like board games. I like Dungeons and Dragons, etc. But even then, that started tapering off. It started getting really woke. And it turned into some sort of like rom-com series. It was bollocks. All about Sheldon and Amy and Howard and Bernadette. I don't want to know about all that shit. I want to see four nerdy guys in a flat together trying to get off with girls, playing Dungeons and Dragons and just being general social outcast. That took a turn for the worst. And there's another one before I leave called The Job Lot, I think it was called. It was a comedy series set in a job centre. That was quite funny. I did enjoy that. It only lasted for 3 seasons, probably because I don't know, it's probably been politically correct or something like that, because it had a guy in there who tried to get off with a girl in the job centre. It's probably toxic masculinity or some other horse shit. The fact of the matter is, guys, you always have to revert to past comedies. I'm not quite sure what it's like in the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. I'm not quite sure what you guys are like on comedies. You tend to revert back to earlier comedies. I'm not too sure. Do let me know what you think in the comments. But I find it quite amazing that I'm paying for something, a subscription to a streaming service that I don't really have any use for. I'm always reverting back to old movies, old comedies. I'm watching things like Demolition Man and Judge Dredd and various other old Rambo and stuff like that. When there's all this new shit coming out, and I'm not interested in it, I read the synopsis and I think, I'm not watching that shite. There was another one my missus has just been watching called The Adolescent or something about some incel teenager on Netflix. Why on God's green earth and all this fuckery would I want to sit there and waste hours of my life watching shite that I am completely against? Incels. What the hell? Oops. Sorry, not me, Sigover. Incels. What's that all about? Men who can't get with girls, hence they drum up some sort of hatred in their heads towards women and want to go out and hurt them and murder them. I mean, fucking weirdos. Why in fucking hell would you make a series about someone like that? Why don't you just make a series about Axel with the band? Yeah, that'll be coming, by the way. There will be a series coming on BBC, of all people, who will make a documentary or some sort of series or short series, 3-4 parts, about Axel Rudiger-Barner. And they will paint him as someone that he is not. They will go across the Welsh choir boy, butter wouldn't melt. He was targeted by ISIS or all this other shit, extremism and all that crap. They'll paint him out to be someone who we should be feeling sorry for, who tugs on our heartstrings. Oh, it wasn't his fault. He didn't really mean to murder them poor little girls, etc., etc. All the horseshit you watch, it will come in the next few years, and there will be one about Shamima Begum as well. I'm going off a bit of a tangent here, right? I'm supposed to be talking about comedies, and I'm going down the terrorist route here. We will have another one again with Shamima Begum when she eventually gets let back into the country, which will happen. Believe me, she will be back, if not already. If not, she's not already back in the country already. We will have some kind of big interview and a massive series about how she suffered and all she didn't know. And of course she fucking knew. She was 15 years old. Anyone who is 15 years old know exactly what they are doing. They just don't give a shit if it's right or wrong, just like any other teenager. She knew fine well what she was doing. She knew fine well when she got there and she was helping people kill people in the middle of the desert and stitching bomb vests and all that other crap she was involved with. She thought, this is wrong, but I don't give a shit. I am where I want to be. And now it's all gone tits up. I started a picture, they've been defeated. She wants to come back home to her benefits, her probably government-funded, taxpayer-funded home with all her family shoved in there, all nice and dandy, never have to work another job in her entire life because she'll be getting constant interviews, constant appearances on shows and all that crap. You know exactly how it's going to go. Anyway, enough of the tangents, guys. I need to get myself back off to work. I didn't want to let another good day go by without doing a video, so yeah, here it is. Let me know what you think in the comments, comedy-wise. Do you watch up-to-date comedies? Can you recommend anything that I can possibly watch on any streaming service? Or do you, like me, revert back to earlier times? Only Fools and Horses, Are You Being Served, Steptoe and Son, One Foot in the Grave. The list goes on. The timeless comedies that we have at our disposal that are not on streaming services because they are not politically correct. Get fucked. I'm going to watch them even if you don't want me to stream them. I'll download them, I'll buy the DVDs, I'll give a shit. I'll watch what I want to watch. Let me know what you think in comments, guys, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.